Now it is
Good morning, ma'am.
good morning. Students, stay in tune. We are starting within few minutes. Madam.
Good morning and good morning, dear students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Would you
Good
please
morning, ma'am.
inform to all other
Good
students to
morning,
join
ma'am.
this workshop? It is especially organized for UG and PG student. So would you please request to all other your friends to join this workshop? Very soon we are going to start this workshop.
Dear students, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good morning, all dear students in Department of English, KSKW College. Today we are going to organize a one-day workshop on research methodology. The workshop will be conducted into two sessions. The first session is going to be conducted by Dr. Sharad Chavan sir, and the second session is going to be conducted by Dr. Sharayu Sonone ma'am. Very soon we are going to start the workshop. Okay.
Dear students, on your video. Dear students, on your video, please. We want to take one photograph. For 2 minutes just. For 2 minutes, you have to on your video. Okay, now you can off your video. Now you can off your video. You can off your video now.
Stay connected. Very soon, the resource person will join this session and we are going to start. Good morning, all dear student, and welcome for this workshop.
Good morning, ma'am.
Just wait for 5 minutes more and we are going to start this workshop. Meanwhile, I want to give you an instruction related to our internal examination. Those students who have not submitted their assignment 8, they have to submit it as soon as possible.
Now we are live on
Good morning, student. This workshop is really very beneficial to you. Through this workshop, you came to know about the research. What is an research? What is the research design? Whatever doubts you have related to the research in your mind, that will be clear today. So stay connected and wait for the workshop. All the PG students has joined this workshop. Is
Yes,
there
ma'am.
any PG students has joined the workshop?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good. Those PG students who want to do PhD after your post graduation, they must have to know what is the research. And only for that purpose, the Department of English has organized this workshop. This will really beneficial to you. Good morning and warm welcome, Dr. Sharad Chavan sir and Dr. Sharayu ma'am, the resource person of today's workshop, Ms. Sangeeta Ahir ma'am, the head of the Department of English, my colleague Sanyogita ma'am and Dr. Ashwini Kadam ma'am, and yes, all my dear students of UG and PG section. Today, we will come together through this online platform to join the workshop based on research methodology. I hope that this workshop on research and methodology will help the researcher and students of our department to understand the basics of research methodology, research questions, research problem, research design, qualitative data collections, selecting the topic for research, method of data collection, and yes, the mechanics of research. Now, I would like to request Ms. Sangeeta Ahir ma'am to deliver the introductory speech of the workshop.
Honorable resource persons, Dr. Sharad Chavan sir, Dr. Sharvi Sonali madam, my dear colleagues and my dear student friends. The Department of English organizes various activities, co-curricular and extracurricular activities for the overall development of students. Previously, we organized such activities like poetry recitation competition for the students of the Department of English, and there was a huge response from all the students of the department. We also carried out a social activity, that is water conservation awareness program, and through this program we visited nearby area of the college and created awareness about conservation of water among the students in Circo area. Today we have organized a workshop on research methodology by online mode for all our students. The purpose of this workshop is to develop research culture among students as well as impart knowledge of the research methodology in English language and literature to students so that they will be able to work and undertake research after completing their PhD. For this purpose, there are two eminent scholars with us who are going to guide our students, and I heartily welcome Dr. Sharad Chavan sir and Dr. Sharvi Sonali madam on behalf of the Department of English, KSKW College Sirco, as well as on behalf of MUP Institute. I am sure that students will be benefited by this workshop very much, and all your queries will be solved. Whatever queries and doubts you have about research methodology of English language and literature, as well as other doubts about research, will be solved and resolved by these scholarly personalities. I am sure that all of you are very eagerly waiting for listening the speech by honorable resource persons. Therefore, without doing the further delay, I stop here. I welcome Honorable Sharad Savan sir and Honorable Sharvi Sonali madam, and I stop here and I hand over the charge to Dr. Jadhav madam. Over to you, Jadhav madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Very well very fortunate that the eminent person just got in the field of research, Dr. Sharad Chavan sir is going to conduct the first session based on the topic Basics of Research and Research Design. Now, I would like to request Ms. Sanyogita ma'am to introduce Dr. Sharad Chavan, speaker of this session.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Good morning and a very warm welcome in one-day workshop of research methodology organized by Department of English and IQAC of the college. Today, we have with us brilliant and active personality as a guest speaker, Dr. Sharad Chavan. He is an associate professor of English, NGV's Arts and Commerce College, Jevla. He has more than 15 years of teaching experience to UG and PG students. He has published numerous research papers in reputed journals and participated in international seminars and conferences. He is working as an IQC coordinator in the college. He successfully headed the college during assessment and accreditation by NAAC in December 23, and college secured B plus grade in the assessment. He has also shouldered other responsibilities such as coordinator, board of studies development, and placement cell. Now, I request Sharad Chaman sir to impart his knowledge to us. Welcome, sir. And now my mic is over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to request Dr. Sharad Chavan sir to deliver the lecture and guide our students.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for such a nice introduction. Good morning to all. First of all, let me congratulate the Department of English for organizing such a nice program on research.
We are not audible to you, sir.
Huh?
You are not,
Not audible.
sir, you are not audible.
Hello. Am I audible?
So please increase your
I have
device
already
voice.
yes, I have already turned on my mic. So you can see.
Yes, you are audible, sir. Now.
Oh, just a minute. Okay. Uh, Good morning to all. First of all, let me congratulate the Department of English for organizing such a workshop on research methodology. Uh, First of all, I would like to express my gratitude towards the principal of the college and towards the head of the department, Professor Sangeeta Iyer, for inviting me and for giving me such a nice opportunity of interacting with PG students. Actually, I enjoy talking with PG students, and it's been uh, 6 years or more that I have got this opportunity to talk with or interact with PG students. Uh, well, today I have been given a topic on research methodology or research basics of research. I have prepared a presentation on it, and I'll have interactions with students on this particular topic. Let me share the screen. Okay. So the topic is basics of research and research design. Before I lead you to this topic, let me complete a few preliminaries. Uh, Well, do you know what is research, my dear students? Yes. Do you know what is research?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes. You are audible.
Sir, taking a information by taking a information for something.
Taking information. Anybody else? What is it exactly? Even keywords will do. Okay. You need not to give a full definition. Like, nahi. Yes. You need not to recite the complete definition. A few words will do, because those words will help me to understand whether you have got the real idea or the basic idea of research or not. Okay. Yes. Who can try?
Excuse me,
Okay.
sir.
uh,
Can I audible?
yes, you are audible.
Uh, yes, research means take any one topic and we can search a deep level.
Your voice is breaking actually.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I have got a definition here. Well, it says research is a systematic and meticulous investigation aimed at uncovering knowledge, validating existing information, and resolving problems. Okay. What are the keywords as per your knowledge? Can you see the screen? I have shared the screen here. Can you see the screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Well, what are the keywords here, and what do you understand by those keywords? Yes. Any
Systematic.
any striking
It is
words? Hmm?
systematic, so it
Yes.
has some procedure.
Systematic. Yes. Very good. Okay. So it is a methodological study. It is a systematic study. It is a systematic process. Okay. It is a systematic study. Research is a systematic study, and this is what we have to understand. A lot of definitions are available on internet or in books. Several scholars have tried to define research. Uh, but what I feel is this: we should have what could be said a very basic idea. Okay, very basic understanding of research, and it is only after that we can approach in a proper way while doing research. Okay, so try to understand it, try to have an in-depth understanding of this very key concept. What happens actually, many times we get confused between pure research and the research that is done in humanities and social science. Okay. Well, research here does not mean finding out completely new knowledge. Okay, uh, etc. Uh, New knowledge, etc. Adding a slightly different perspective will do. Okay, so this is why we should not worry about finding completely new knowledge, etc. As far as the research in humanities and social science is concerned. Okay, so this is what we have to understand here. Well, what I said is this: it is a systematic study, and what is it that makes it systematic? This is what we have to find it out throughout our discussion. Okay. Next, well, uh, statement tells us that it is a systematic process again, isn't it? Okay, systematic process, the process that helps us to collect data, okay, and organize data within the framework, isn't it? it is a system, and we have to find out what this system is, and then the framework which is used to put that information, isn't it? Well, next, it entails the collection, analysis, and interpretation of data, isn't it? Research is all about this. Research is a systematic process, okay, used to collect data. The first step is collecting the data. We have to collect data. Okay, we don't have to devise new data. So we have to collect it from internet sources or from books and so on, wherever that information is available, through surveys or through observation and so on. So we have to collect the data, and then next step is the step of analysis, okay, and interpretation. Analysis and interpretation, we have to, and then we have to analyze the data, we have to interpret the data. But how can we analyze the data, how can we interpret the data? Is, is there any basis, is there any basis in literature? Can you talk about this? How do we analyze data, how do we interpret data? You know about data collection, okay, you know about data collection. We use certain methods for data collection, okay, and using those, Google Sheets for example, isn't it? We use Google Forms, Google Sheets in order to collect data. Okay, then we process the data, we analyze the data. Well, is there any method, is there any approach, or are there any approaches for data analysis? Is there any basis? And that is what we call as approach. This knowledge of approach is very important as far as English language or language and literature is concerned. We use certain approaches, fixed approaches. A number of approaches are there, okay, numerous approaches are there, but we are not expected to use all of them at one and the same time. A fixed number is sufficient, 4 5 at least, that is sufficient, isn't it? And based on that approach, we try to evaluate, okay, we try to analyze, and we try to understand the data which we have collected. Okay, this is what we call research. Okay, and then, okay, the first step, as we have said, is collection of data. Second is analysis, interpretation of data. And third, arranging the data, organizing the data within the given framework, isn't it? Okay, writing it or using the research design simply for the data which we have analyzed. So in short, research can be simply uh, mm, you know um, arranged in three steps. The first step is, that is step of data collection. Second, analysis and arranging the data within the framework. Okay. Next is about the purpose of research. It contributes to the corpus of knowledge, etc. Isn't it? It helps to widen our perspectives, our knowledge, and so on and so on. Okay, not many purposes are there, but we are not going to talk about them, because our focus will be completely on research and what research is exactly. You guys got this point? The first point. Hmm? What have we learned right now? What is research, isn't it? What is research exactly? It's a systematic study. What the point? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you're audible. Yes, sir, you're audible.
So once this is understood, I think with the help of this, your journey will be, very. Uh, your journey will become very easy. Okay, so it is a systematic study. What we have to do? A systematic study, isn't it? So this word, systematic, is very important. It's a key word here. Okay. uh, what is it that makes it systematic? Well, you can compare the research data with the data that is available elsewhere, okay, on internet sources or in some other books. All the data is not research data. Why not? Because research data uses fixed methods for data collection. Okay, fixed method for analysis, isn't it? Fixed methods or what we call as approaches for data analysis. As I said, there are multiple approaches, but all the approaches cannot be used at the one and the same time, isn't it? Because some approaches may be very contradictory. Uh, Approaches, that is feminist approach, reader response approach, social cultural approach, and not many approaches are there. And while studying literary works, we have to use those approaches. Okay, sometimes, you know, it is not feasible to use all the approaches, and this is why we can use 3, 4 approaches. At least, 3, 4 approaches, that is sufficient. Okay, and this makes the data, systematic. Okay, this makes the data systematic. Again, we have to arrange it in a very systematic order, and this is why we can say that it is a systematic study, isn't it? It is a systematic study. Then, well, uh, the next slide is on the process. Okay, the research process. It is said that research begins with research question. Okay, research begins with a research question. And what is this research question? Identifying the area of interest, isn't it? Identifying the area of interest. Okay, what is it that appeals to our curiosity? And we should stick to our area of interest because take, take our time. Okay, identify the
Sorry
switch
to
of your
disturb, but
huh.
Nilesh,
Thank you.
all the students, please turn off your microphone. Nilesh,
Huh. Okay, so it takes several years, and we should not lose our interest, right? And for this, we have to choose the area which interests us, interests us most. Well, uh, research question is about choosing area of interest. I think there are certain steps, but I will be being with them later on in detail. Okay. Well, then next is conducting a review of literature, isn't it? What we call as literature review. This involves delving into existing scholarly works, okay, articles and studies related to your research question. Okay. This is also very important, and particularly while doing research, the second chapter is assigned to review of literature. Okay, what is it exactly? In review we have to survey the existing data and find out what is similar and what is not similar with our study. Okay, so the works which are similar to our research, our work, okay, we have to find out then, and then we have to compare those works with our work. Okay, and we have to identify the gap. What is the gap? Okay, what are the differences between our research and their research? Okay, but how can you access those research, and where are those research available? Can you tell me how can you find out? Yes, how can you find out similar research works? Do you know?
Come on, students.
Have you heard a bird called inflibnet, chodganga? Chodganga, it's a reservoir. Okay, it stores dissertations. Okay, dissertations published in India. Okay, here you can look for similar works. Let's say your area of interest is William Shakespeare, or Shakespeare's particular work, say for example King Lear. Okay, and you may you may want to know, who are the say scholars who have worked on King Lear. Okay, from this perspective, or or that perspective, whatever your perspective, the perspective for your study. Okay, so, yes, yes, okay. So, what we have to do is this: we have to survey, we have to find out, similar works, okay, available on the internet, and our work should not be completely like that work. Okay, we don't have to, copy that work. We have to just read that work in order to gain some understanding of our work, and where to identify, what are the differences between our work and the works that exist on the net or internet. Okay, so this is called as, review of literature. And then after this, I'll come to this research methodology later. Next is, data collection. As I said, we may, visit in FlipNet for collecting data, for collecting research, etc. Isn't it? Research bugs, and we may go through them, and we may collect some information from those, research bugs. So visiting internet, or visiting libraries again is a, what could be said, mode of data collection, isn't it? Sometimes we use, surveys. Okay, sometimes we use experiments, observations for, data collection. Okay, those, the methods, qualitative method and quantitative methods, again those will be dealt in detail. Okay, and next is, the data analysis that we have already discussed. Okay, so after collecting the data, we have to analyze the data. Okay, and how can we analyze the data? Using certain approach. Okay, using certain basis, isn't it? uh, so, if we don't have a proper approach, then our data will not be considered as valid data. Okay, this is very important, and most of the time, candidates come developing our research methodology. This is very important because this knowledge of research methodology, helps us to make our, research methodological, that is systematic. Okay, the knowledge of research methodology only, because this helps us to align our research title, our, research question, our hypothesis, objectives, methodology, okay, analysis and conclusion, in, in one line. Okay, this helps, to bring them in one line. If they are not in one line, then our research methodology is faulty. And how can we, bring them together? Okay, this is actually the case with, research. Okay, and this is, we have to be very careful as far as, research methodologies is concerned. Okay, same points are discussed next. See, research questions. The first point, as I said, research begins with research questions, isn't it? First is, finding out general, area of interest. Okay, area of interest, what interests us. Okay, and then, based on the research question, we can formulate hypothesis. Is there any connection between research question and hypothesis? Yes. And what is hypothesis? Yes. Research question and hypothesis. I have given examples here of social media uses. Okay, the general area is here, social media. Okay, the use of social media here. And based on this, we have formulated a question here, a research question. That is, how does social media uses affect teenagers' sleep patterns? Okay, and based on this research question, we have formulated a hypothesis here. Okay, so I want to, suggest you that a research question and hypothesis, you know, research question and hypothesis are interconnected. They are interrelated. Okay, so hypothesis is a, a tentative supposition. Okay, a supposed answer for this particular research question. A supposed answer. Okay, why supposed? Because this may be proved or may not be proved at the end of the research. Okay, we may have a completely varied opinion about this research question. Hmm? And this is why we call it as a tentative, hypothesis, isn't it? Tentative supposition. Okay, so here, we have formed the supposition here, and what is it? As I said, the research question is about use of social media. Okay, and in particular, the disadvantage of social media affecting the sleep patterns of teenagers, isn't it? Affecting the sleep patterns here. Well, based on this, we have formed the hypothesis. And what is it? Teenagers who spend more time. See, the focus is here on more time. Teenagers who spend more time, okay, on social media will have poorer sleep quality. Okay, it affects the sleep quality of teenagers spending more time, isn't it? So this is the hypothesis. This is the answer simply for this research question. Okay, a tentative answer. This may be proved. This may not be proved. Okay. So this is what we have to understand as far as hypothesis is concerned. Got the second point? Shall I revise? Is there any need? Tell me. Try to be, interactive. Okay. I mean, yes.
Students, this workshop is for you. You must be interactive. You have to give your feedback.
Nobody? Okay. Well, your feedback is very important here because, well, my purpose should not, to complete the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, my purpose is to give you some, understanding. Okay, some understanding, not complete understanding. And if I, become successful in giving you some understanding, that will be, sufficient for me. I mean, that is the main object here behind my presentation. Okay, because this is the core area, and I feel that you should learn the key concepts here. If these concepts are not learned properly, then there would be a lot of confusion while doing research. Okay, let me revise the points. See, what have we done? We have learned that research is a systematic process. Okay, why it should be called as a process? Because this involves collection of data, this involves analysis and interpretation of data, and this involves arrangement of data, isn't it? This is why it is a process, and it's a systematic process, isn't it? Because for data collection, okay, for data collection, we use certain methods. Okay, we'll be talking about those methods. What are the methods? Qualitative, quantitative methods. I have talked about them slightly. Well, we use those methods, and by using those methods, that we can collect the data. Okay, so it uses the methods for data collection. Again, it uses the methods or approaches for in the interpretation or analysis of data, isn't it? And it uses fixed format for arrangement of the data, and this is why it is a systematic process. Okay, then next, we talked about the research process. The second point is about the research process, how research begins. Okay, and what have we learned? We have learned that research begins with research question. Okay, research question means identifying the area. Okay, actually it's a journey from moving from general area to a specific area. Okay. First of all, we have to locate, the area which interests us most, isn't it? And then based on that, we can formulate a question. Okay, a question. Again, it's a very difficult task. Okay, I have discussed it, but at the end, I don't know whether this will be possible for me because that is a bit difficult matter. Okay, so, based on this research question, we can formulate a tentative answer. Okay, tentative answer for the question. That is called as hypothesis. Okay, here we have, got example. Next, next step, what have we seen? A review of literature. Okay, we have to, survey the existing literature, isn't it? The scholars who have worked on the area which we have selected. Understand this. Okay. Chapter second of research, is spent on review of literature for your information. Okay, so very significant area. So what we have to do then? We have to find out, the works, isn't it? Research works. Okay, similar to our research, similar to our research. They should not be 100% similar. Okay, this is what you have to understand here. Because our research is different and their research is different. I mean, there can be slightly, different perspectives. Okay, different perspectives, different approaches, can be used there. And we have to identify, what is similar in their research and what is difference in their research and our research, and what is different in their research and our research. Okay, this argument is called as review of literature. We have to make arguments there. Okay, we have to claim, okay, that I have done this. Okay, or my research differs here and there. Okay, from his research. Okay, or he has, paid focus on this and that element, and I have, paid focus on this and that, area. So we have to talk like this. We have to make arguments there, and this is called as, review of literature. It includes, summarizing, the research work. Okay, which is in front of you. We have to summarize it. I mean, not completely summarizing. We have to just present an overview of, overview of that particular research works, and we have to find out what are the methodologies used by that scholar and what are the methodologies, used by us. Okay, isn't it? We have to find out what are his findings and what are our findings. Okay, what are the conclusions, he has formed, etc., etc. So we have to identify the gap here. Okay, then you know next, that is not important. Mm, huh. Next is, methods. Okay, next is the methods which we use for data collection. As I said, while doing research, we fixed, or we choose an area for our research. Okay, after choosing our area, what do? We start, collecting data, information about that particular area, isn't it? And how do we collect that information? Huh. The methods which we use, that decides, the research method. Okay, and there are two methods. Okay, there are, two methods. One, quantitative method, and second, qualitative method. We also call them as qualitative research and quantitative research. Quality and quantity. Okay, uh, quantity has to do with numbers. Okay, quantity has to do with numbers. So it aims to measure and analyze numerical data. It has to do with numbers, Excel sheets, etc. Okay, to test hypothesis, and it is statistical data simply. Okay, and to establish cause and effect relationships. Particularly, teachers or, scholars of language, use quantitative, research metrics. Okay, language particularly, because their survey may involve, students acquiring language. If the research is on language, isn't it? So they use this. I mean, they use tests. They use, say, for example, test surveys, etc. And using those surveys or tests, they collect their data, and that data is quantitative data. Okay, because numbers are important there. Okay, ranking, is very important there. Next is qualitative. In literature, we basically use qualitative metrics, isn't it? And what is it? It focuses on understanding phenomena through subjective experiences, perspectives, and meanings. Okay. So how can we collect this data? By interviewing people, or by or groups, okay, or through observation, or through reading, also reading books, isn't it? uh, Reading material that is present on internet. Okay, we can use that data, and we can analyze that data. Okay, so that data is called as qualitative data. Okay, the data that exists in number, okay, is quantitative. The data which exists in which is not in number, that is qualitative data simply. Okay, so can we use both the methods in one and single research? Yes, this is possible. So that is called as mixed methods. Okay, we can use both methods at the one and the same time. Then next is research methodology. Okay, this is very important as far as research is concerned. The knowledge of methodology is very important. Why important? Because it helps us to you know uh, mm, bring our research in a systematic form. Okay, okay. So this is why it's very important. Systematic method, isn't it? Systematic works, isn't it? It encompasses various theoretical frameworks, tools, and methods used to understand the complexities of literature. Actually, this can be illustrated using examples, okay, because uh, this is at the abstract level. So it needs support, okay, and a detailed support actually. So let's find out if we can cover it or not. How much time is there, for me? Yes. Hello.
Hello. 5 minutes are there, sir.
Huh?
5 minutes are there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Research methodology is a systematic approach to studying literature. It involves selecting a topic, okay, formulating research questions, and choosing appropriate theoretical framework for analysis. Okay, we have discussed it slightly on it. The detailed discussion is present on the next slide. uh, let's find out if we can complete it. We have discussed this how can we identify a problem, a research question, etc. Okay. Uh, little, how can we narrow down the research topic? Hmm? And then how can we formulate a research question? Here we have got very interesting example here. Uh, of narrowing down a topic. For example, general area can be Elizabethan literature. Of the Elizabethan literature, Shakespeare's plays may appeal to us. Okay, we may be curious about them, and maybe particular tragedies. And of the tragedies, Shakespeare's Lear can be very appealing play for us. Okay, and there are so many elements in King Lear, but all the elements cannot be researched at the one and the same time. And here we have given a focus on a theme. Okay, madness. Okay, madness is actually a theme in Lear, King Lear. It's a Shakespearean tragedy, isn't it? Madness is a theme. So the focus is on the theme here. Okay. Sometimes the focus can be on the character or on the plot structure or on any other element, on history or on social cultural conditions, etc., on power structure or any other theme. Okay, variety of elements can be present in Lear, but those all those cannot be a area of research. Okay, so we have to make it particular. Then see, based on this, what have we tried to do? We have to try to form a research question, and how can we align this research question with our research methodology? As I said, our research title, our research question, our objectives, our hypotheses, they should be, and they must be in one single line. They should align, isn't it? I mean, they should be in one single line. Okay, so based on this, see, what are the possibilities? First question, okay, research question. How does madness impact the plot development? Okay, so see, this is from structural perspective. Okay, so when we are talking about madness, the theme and plot structure, the plot development in the play. So we need a structural approach here. Okay, by using structuralist approach, okay, we can study the play. So this is what we have to understand. So which approaches, which theoretical approaches can be handy for studying a particular work? Okay, and this requires a thorough understanding of all these approaches. If we don't have the thorough understanding of those approaches, then it's quite difficult, okay, for us to understand what is our question, okay, and what is our analysis, isn't it? So be careful, read or try to get some basic information about all those approaches. Then next is next research question, because see, this question is different, and then the next one is different, because the next is, what are the socio-cultural implications of the use of madness in Shakespeare's plays? Okay, or Elizabethan theatre. We can cover Elizabethan theatre also. Social, social and cultural implications of the use of madness in theatre, isn't it? Elizabethan theatre. So this needs the understanding of sociological and cultural approaches. Okay, using those approaches, we can analyze and interpret the data, okay, in a proper way, in a systematic way. The last one, who is mad in King Lear? This question gives emphasis on the character. Okay, because there are so many characters, okay, who actually are mad, or I mean, can be considered as mad. So we can study this from psychological or psychoanalytical perspective, or cultural perspectives also, isn't it? Because cultural, socio-cultural perspectives also differ as far as madness is concerned. We may refer to Foucault as far as this is concerned. Uh, Last one, next one, is about theoretical approaches. Okay, so how approach is important as far as research methodology is concerned, because see, research methodology works at the concrete level, and approaches, they work at the abstract level. Okay, they go hand in hand. Okay, and this is why we must have thorough understanding of approaches that are theoretical approaches that are used in uh, the study of literature. Okay, text-based approaches, author-based approaches. We don't have much time, so I'm just skipping those points. Reader-oriented, context-oriented. Okay, post-colonial approach.
Tushar,
Yes, yes, yes,
Tushar Shitole, हाँ employee ID
yes, Nilesh.
394868 हाँ process
Your
अच्छा हाँ
voice is
काय
breaking.
करायचं
Mute
यांचं
yourself, Nilesh, mute yourself.
Okay.
आता ऍक्सेस कार्ड कोणाकडे असेल यांचं हा बोला
Uh,
बोला
Next one, uh, well, We
म्हणजे
have discussed about
lecture
that.
process काय?
Huh. Well, based on this, theme, what are the
Uh-huh.
possibilities here? How many approaches can be used on one single area? Okay, exploring madness in King Lear through various theoretical approaches. First, socio-cultural approach. We have talked about that research question. Okay, analyze societal pressures on characters in King Lear, like Lear's abdication and the impact on familial ties and power dynamics. Okay, we can also use psychological perspective. Okay, we can examine psychological aspects of madness. Okay, we can explore the characters and their mental states. Okay, manifestations, etc., etc. Then structural analysis is also possible. Okay, investigate the place structural elements. Okay, and structural elements and their connection with the theme called madness. Okay, because theme and plot, they go hand in hand. They are not separate elements. Okay, two elements, but they go hand in hand. Okay, so structural elements emphasizing the thematic significance of Lear's madness. Okay, the impact particularly. Uh, then comparative, we can use comparative approach. We can compare similar plays, okay, or characters having similar madness in Elizabethan or in other periods also. Okay, and we can study them from socio-cultural perspectives, psychological perspective, etc. So comparative study is also possible. Okay. Uh, at the end, see, we can combine various theoretical approaches, but not all the approaches. Okay. A few approaches will do, and that helps us to, what could be said, uh, develop our understanding in a proper way. Hmm? And then research methodology equips scholars with the tools to analyze literature in a systematic and in critical way. Okay. Any questions? Any queries?
Dear students,
Hello, yes, sir. Can I audible?
Ah, yes. Yes.
Can we compare research methodology? Can we
Uh,
compare research methodology with PhD, or they part of each other?
yes. Research methodology is part of research PhD. Yes, it's a very important area while doing PhD research methodology.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
any other students who has any doubt, they can ask your questions.
May I?
Yes, yes.
Sir, I want to ask about literature review. So, what is the difference between literature review and literary review, if it is there any?
Uh, no,
The,
actually, we get confused about the word called literature here. Okay, literature. Literature here does not. Should not necessarily mean the English literature or etc. Literature means the published books. Okay, published books. That is literature here. Okay, or simply here the scholars who have published their dissertations simply the scholars who have done their research and after doing their research they publish their research. Okay, that data is called as literature here. Okay, that data is called as literature. Literature does not mean here necessarily poems, novels, etc. Okay, literature means this data which is published here. Okay, the simply scholars works. Hmm?
yes,
Research work, that is literature here.
yeah. And literary review?
Review, that is surveying, studying that data. Okay. Suppose you want to do research on King Lear. Okay. As I said, madness, for example, or any other element from layer. So what will you do? You first of all you will try to find out who are the scholars who have studied king lear. Okay. Then while searching out this data, you may come across that some scholars have studied king lear from thematic perspective. Some scholars have focused on the structural elements in king lear. Okay. Some scholars have focused on the psychology of characters, etc. Okay. So while surveying this data, what do you have to do? You have to find out what is relevant to you. Suppose if your research is on theme, particularly madness, you have to find out whether there are any scholars who have studied this theme called madness, and if they have done, then what is it that they have done exactly there, isn't it? What is it they have done, and what is it that you want to do on this theme of madness? Okay. Because there can be differences while studying this very this one single point. Okay. Their approach towards looking at madness can be different from your approach, and this is what I have tried to show you. Because you see that some critics have tried to see madness from socio-cultural perspective, some critics have tried to see madness from psychological perspective, isn't it? So there can be different perspectives while looking at one single element. This is what we have to understand here. Hmm? That is survey of literature.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, she wanted to ask you what is the difference between literature review and literary review. That was her question.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Literature, that is the
Yeah,
data.
thank you, sir.
Yes, any other?
And your sir. Is it audible?
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Yes.
I think the questions are over now, sir. Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful presentation. It is really a very informative and interesting one. Now, we will start the second session of the workshop. But before that, we want to take one screenshot. So, everyone, please turn on your camera. Sir, would you please stop your presentation?
Just a moment.
Would you please stop your slide sharing? Yes. Thank you, sir. Screenshot. Just wait for 1 minute more. And if it is possible, stay connected.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Now we will start the second session of the workshop. Dr. Sharayu Sonone is going to conduct the second session based on the topic Research Domain and Resource for Research. Now, I would like to request Ms. Sanyogita ma'am to introduce Dr. Sharayu Sonone ma'am, the speaker of this session.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Once again, I want to welcome all of you in the second session of this workshop. Let me introduce our next eminent guest, Dr. Sharoyu Sunone, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. She is an eminent. She is She is an assistant professor and a research guide in Department of English Language, Sandeep University. She has 15 years of teaching experience. Her research interests are post-colonial studies and eco-criticism. She has published 8 research papers in international journals and 2 research papers in national journals. She attended several national and international conferences. She was the resource person for the PhD coursework organized by Department of English and Research, KTHM College, Nasik. Now, I welcome once again Sharayu Sonone ma'am, and I request her to impart her knowledge to our students. Over to you, Sharayu ma'am.
Hello, thank you, Sangyoyukta ma'am. Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Okay. Thank you, everybody. First, I would like to take an opportunity to thank the principal of KSKW College, Dr. S.K. Kushara sir, the head of the department, Dr. Sangeeta Ahir ma'am, the faculty members, Sanyogita Kindai ma'am, Dr. Ashwini Kadam ma'am, and Dr. Pranali Jivrak ma'am, and all the participants. Let me share the presentation first. Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Is it visible?
Thank you. Okay, so I will be talking about the resources for research. I have divided my presentation into 17 slides in which I'm going to present my knowledge about primary resources, secondary resources, plus online and some offline resources that you can use to conduct your research. So the first slide is about primary and secondary resources. As you are the students of PG, you conduct short-term projects or your teachers assign you some, minor research projects. So for that purpose, you need to take some material, right? Or you can add some more information about your selected topic by taking the reference from different sources. So let's see now what is primary and what is secondary source. Like the first is primary resources. So primary resources are generally the first-hand accounts and original data, or which is it can be the novel, it can be the poetry, right? So these are considered as primary resources. It also includes, apart from this, diaries, speeches, interviews, artifacts, and experiments. Okay. Now, secondary resources. Secondary resources describe and summarize or discuss information or give details about the original work, right? It can be a sort of interpretation or analysis of the primary resource. For example, if your teacher has assigned you a project on Hamlet, what will you? You will read the particular dramas of Shakespeare, and you will also try to find out some more information about the same writer from different sources. Like you will search for the articles, you will search for the information available on Wikipedia. Now, all these are considered as secondary resources, right? And the actual text that you read is called primary resource. So this is general the difference between primary resource and secondary resource. Just a minute. Okay. Before we go, I want to talk about more about these two kinds of resources. The first thing that you have to check the credibility of the resources. Like primary resources are more credible than the secondary resources. We all know that. So before selecting again the secondary resources, you need to check the credibility. Okay. Now the second thing is that when we select these resources give us the deeper understanding of a topic. Okay, so our selection should be appropriate, and Definitely, it will help you to interpret the facts also. Second thing is that when you select the primary and secondary resources, you need to take care of plagiarism. Like when you take something or when you take something as a reference, you should give credit to that author or the person. Next is that these primary resources and secondary resources can be found on different with the help of different sources like libraries. So there are libraries, online, offline libraries, and these libraries have a great resource of knowledge. So we can take the help of these libraries to in order to get the primary and secondary resources. Second is archives. Archive house are the primary resource materials, and it includes the historical documents, even the photographs and the artifacts. So these archives will also help you to get the primary resources. Next is museum. Museums are also, they can also exhibit the features of primary resource material. So you can also take the support of these museums in order to get the information. Websites, we all know that websites are the best sources of getting information. So again, you have to take care of take care of the sources, because they may provide sometimes the fake sources. That's why you need to check them. Now, secondly, I would like to talk about anthologies, biographies, and autobiographies. Now, anthologies can be also used as references or resources. Like, what is an anthology? Anthology is a collection of primary resources on a specific theme. For example, if you, like in TY and SYU had a book on poetry, right? So that is also an anthology because it had a collection of poems, so that kind of books can be considered as anthology. So this is useful for understanding diverse perspectives and common threads. Second is biographies and autobiographies. Now we all know that biographies and autobiographies give us insight into the author's lives and experiences, right? And these are important because we understand more aspects of that particular author, right? So here I have given you some examples of the biographies and autobiographies. This is very famous, The Diary of a Young Girl. Okay, so with the help of this particular autobiography, we will understand the agony of this girl Anne Frank, and we will come to know about the different aspects of the aspect of Jews. So along with this, I have also given you another example, that is Arthur Miller and his autobiography, his life and work. So suppose you are working on this particular writer and you want to know more about that, then you can refer the autobiography. Okay. Next example is it is the book written by Maya Angelou, that is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. So this is very famous biography, sorry, and it is written by Martin Gottfried. So now there are many poems written by Maya Angelou, right? And these poems mostly talk about her sufferings in the colonial period. So again, you want to know if you want to know more about this particular poet, you can refer this autobiography. So after this slide, I want to show you how we can use anthropologies, ethnographies, and encyclopedias to get the information. Now, anthropologists, they are used to study human cultures and society, right? And especially in social research, the researchers use anthropologists because social science actually social science deals with the society and culture. So there are certain types of anthropologies. For example, cultural anthropology, it will give you insight into the use of language, okay, or how the language is used among different societies. Plus social anthropology, it will also give you insight into the different kinds of social structures, plus their tradition and culture. Now let's see what are ethnographies. Ethnographies give detailed accounts of specific cultural group. Okay. Now when we think of the specific cultural group, especially it deals with different aspects like we get knowledge of the customs, beliefs, behaviors, and we try to explore human behaviors and cultural dynamics. Last is in this slide, encyclopedias. You all are aware of these encyclopedias. So encyclopedias give us the overview of various topics. Like if you visit your library, you can see the encyclopedias and how these encyclopedias deal with the different concepts. For example, if you are working on Gothic novels or the term Gothic, so just go, these encyclopedias are arranged alphabetically. So in these encyclopedia, you will get that how this word, Gothic, this concept has different shades of meaning. Okay, so it is related to architecture. Definitely, it is related to literature. So encyclopedias can also give you more information about the topic chosen by you. Okay, next we will talk about thesaurus. Thesaurus contains, vocabulary, and these vocabularies connect us with the terms and concepts. Like something related to a specific type, a specific topic, you need to search the apt words or the words that will describe your ideas, right? So in that case, thesaurus is a great help, or it gives us option for synonyms, antonyms, and we can select them as per our choice and as per the need of the topic. Okay. Any question about this? Okay. Now we will be talking about oral tradition, manuscripts, and monographs. Now, oral tradition contain stories, songs, and histories passed down through generations. Like when I was doing my research in the area of eco-criticism, I selected the novel from Australia, from that continent. And when I started studying that particular novel, I came across the oral tradition, right? They had. So, if you study the oral tradition, like you come to know about again how they, interact with each other, how their culture becomes dominant in their development, okay, and also how other issues affect their culture and tradition, means or life. So we can study all these things by understanding the oral traditions. So oral tradition can also offer us unique perspective, and it gives valuable insight into culture. So this is also called one of the resources. Next is the manuscripts. Manuscripts means handwritten or typed document, and these documents are often unpublished. Okay, so you can consider like it can provide you primary resource material for historical and literary research. So you can go for manuscripts also. If you see, like if you visit your library, you will come across again the books called manuscripts. Then monographs. Monographs are also a typewritten document, and it is highly detailed and thoroughly documented study of paper written about a limited area of a subject or field of inquiry. Now, why these monographs are important? Because it we can use them to discover the relevant references, because they provide us the information about the specific subject. Now, newspaper, articles, magazine, journals, and translations, they are also the research. They can be considered, or they can be used for research resources. Now there are, like if you are working on certain topic, you can take the reference from news articles. Nowadays, we all are talking about NEP, like our new education policy. So now, if I'm writing something about that, I can get the information about this new topic from the news article. Okay. So in this way, it can give us the historical context and it can also give us the different viewpoints on the contemporary issues. Next is magazines and journals. There are many online and offline magazines and journals available. So again, these magazines and journals can also be on the specific topics, or they can also, they can also have a collection of the different a collection of different topics. Okay, so journals contains the articles, and these articles are helpful to get information. Next is translations. Translations, available even again online and offline. These translations again will help us to understand the culture, like because the language is the only medium that helps us to understand the culture tradition of the society. So this translation, but when you select the translation, you have to again check the credibility, whether they are right or wrong. Then you can access this translation again to enhance your knowledge of the topic. Now I will be talking about e-resources like e-books, e-journals, and web references. I think we are moving from pen and paper to pixels. Nowadays we use these resources a lot. Now e-books are available easily. Like if you are unable to get the hard copy of the book, then you can have different options from this particular resource. Like I have also mentioned some URLs, and you can use them to get the books online, right? E-books, like this is the digital version of printed books, and these e-books are very convenient to access, right? They are portable, means wherever we are, we can read these e-books, okay? And the content is also researchable. We can easily search the content through this. So this website LibGen, you will a keyword and you will get the books in different formats in PDF and other. So once you download it, you can also take the printout of those books. Second is the book finder. It is also useful for the students who are doing research or who want to do research. So you can refer these two websites to get the e-books. Next is e-journals. So there are many e-journals available. Like, when we think of database, there are two types of databases, like open and closed. So when we think of open database, we can also access the e-journals easily. So these are also, and like for closed database, uh, we need to pay something to in order to get the articles. Now these e-journals are these are the online versions of academic journals, and again you know
There is some network issue. Students, just wait for a second. Huh? Don't leave, beta. Don't leave. Am I audible? Hello, am I audible? Or is there any network issue? Okay, thank you, Priya. Thank you.
Ma'am, your mic is on, but you are not audible.
Hello.
Sharu, ma'am.
Am I on? Oh, is it audible?
You're not audible, madam.
Hello. Give me-
Voice is breaking.
Okay. Give me a minute.
Yes, yes. Hmm. Akbar, what are you doing? Abrar Pathan, what are you doing?
Am I aud- Hello.
Hello?
Ashwini ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. You are audible now.
Ashwini. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I was talking of journals. So these offers for peer review
Your
research
presentation is not
means what?
visible, madam.
Okay.
Presentation.
Give me. Yes. Hello.
Sharai ma'am, would you please start your presentation?
Hello.
Due to the network issue, it is disconnected. Will you please
Hello.
start your presentation once again?
Yes.
Would you please share your slide and start your presentation once again, ma'am? Ma'am, am I audible to you?
Yes,
Everyone must
I
be
started
connected.
presenting, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Just hold on.
Yes, you are audible, ma'am. Would you please share your presentation? Your presentation is not visible, ma'am.
I have already shared it. Let me continue. And
Everyone must be connected. There is some connection issue. So just wait for 2 or 3 minutes. The meeting will start soon. Those who has left, they have to join it once again.
Ask your friends to join.
ओके मी आता मोबाईल म्हणून जॉईन करते.
Just wait for 2 minutes. Ma'am will join once again. She is giving a very wonderful presentation.
Dear students, stay in tune. Hmm? There is some technical difficulty. We are handling it. Have some patience and stay in tune. Okay, ma'am, join.
Welcome, ma'am, once again.
hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, ma'am, you are audible now.
Can you present? Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am, you are
See the
presenting. We are not able to see your presentation yet, ma'am. You are trying to presenting.
present. So, yes, I have already presented. Yes, I need to.
I think she is presently some problem. It's आवाज
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
Ma'am, would you please present your screen once again? You are presenting, but
Yes.
we are not able to see it, ma'am. I think there is some technical issue. Would you please solve it?
Finally, ma'am, I'm trying. Should I share this presentation? Like, can show it on my behalf.
What, ma'am?
Can I share presentation with you so that you can show it?
Okay, you send it to me on my mail ID. I will share it. Oh, yes, your presentation is going to be seen.
Is it visible now?
No, ma'am. Is it not visible? Is it visible for any other? No, ma'am. Is it not visible yet?
Okay, okay. Okay. I'm sending it, ma'am.
You send it on my mail, ma'am.
Okay. What's your mail? Hello.
Ma'am.
Can you share your mail?
Would you please, if you can able to see that presentation, ma'am, there is no need to share it. Would you please explain that topic in short within 5 minutes, ma'am? Would you please conclude it?
Okay. Yes, yes.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
ma'am.
That will be very fine because already it is 1 o'clock. So you can conclude your topic in 5 minutes. If you are able to see it, you can present it, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. I was talking about resources in e-journals. So, e-journals, there are certain journals available on humanities quarterly, early modern literature, or electronic review. Just mention the few issues of e-journals. Now, just e-journals, you see that whether they are reputed or not. Because in reputed write research papers that refer for research. Then there are some web resources, like web resources are the resources or online sources of information, and when refer to website, web You should critically evaluate websites for credibility and there are in search engines that you can use for your document reference
Your voice is
like
breaking, madam.
the Google.
Sorry to interrupt. Your voice is breaking.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are audible now. You can conclude in 5 minutes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Examples of e-learners refer to this web and for your research. Go some examples. Sir,
त्याचा सो-
series, disease, and problem. As reference, no, uh, this also available on and offline. So if you visit, you can see the library, you can hit the library from and you locate the material with the help of catalog. Now, museum Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible now. Clearly audible now.
Okay, thank you.
आमचं वर्कशॉप चालू आहे 5-10 मिनिटं थांबा.
Okay, now I was talking about library catalog. You can visit your library and get the catalog from your librarian to get the material. Even museums, monuments, and government publications can also be used as resources. Like if you visit Saputara place, you will there you can see the museum, and it will give you a reflection of the culture of tribal people. Again, monuments can also be used as resources. Monuments are nothing else but the physical structures with historical significance. These or it provide the connections to the past as well as it gives us the cultural understanding. Plus, government publications like official documents, reports can also be used for as reference material or resources. Now let's see what is the role of computer and internet in research. So with the help of computer and internet research, we can get the diversified information from global location. Like how, like after getting this information, definitely it is going to enhance your research efficiency. Plus it will also it will collaborate the two things like the communication as well as it will help you to share your knowledge by this. Next important part of this lecture is research domains. So as we are related to literary research, so literary research is nothing else but the analyzing text to get the meaning, significance, and impact. Now, there are certain tools and methods of literary research, or you can also consider it as as the methods of literary research. Like the first type of literary research is interpretative method or interpretative research. Now, interpretative is the process of making a meaning from the text, such as assigning significance to a work of literature. Like when we read a certain novel or certain poetry, we try to get its meaning from different perspective, right? So it also helps us to think critically. So we can use this type of research in order to find out something new or to add something new to the existing work. Next is the comparative research. In the name suggests that it can be the comparison, between two genres, between two languages. So comparative literary research that studies how literature and culture are expressed across languages, cultures, and regions. Okay. Next is analytical literary research. Now, analytical literary research means the close study of a work of art. Now, while doing the close study, it will help us to interpret the literary work, and it will also reveal the author's deeper meaning and implications. The fourth is theoretical literary research. Now in third year you have studied the literary theory and criticism. Now if you have a good base of literary theory and criticism, then you can go with this kind of research. Now this particular research is based on rational theories that involve studying the relationship between the text, models, and context. Like when we use this particular theoretical, like you are interested in psychology or psychoanalytical study, means you are applying that particular theory to understand the text, right? So uh, when you deal with literature, you should use or you should have a good knowledge of these theories and approaches. The fifth is biographical literary research. It is the study of life histories, and it gives us the meaning that is constructed from biographical documents and narratives.
Okay, so there are certain poets like when we study Kamala Das, we need to take a look into her life. Like we should we should read her autobiography, and we can find there that how her life was, and how it had a great impact on her writing style or on her content. So this particular literary research can also be helpful to us. Now I'm on this slide references. So these are the references. Like I will give this presentation to your coordinator. After this, you will see that how these references can be a great help to you also. Thank you very much. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I know you faced a lot of problems due to internet connection.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone who has any doubts or want to ask any questions? Okay, we are now going to conclude this second session. Thank you, ma'am. It's really a very wonderful presentation. The PPT you presented is really a very attractive one. But due to some internet connection, it is disconnected. Then again, you have started and given a wonderful presentation. The session is very informative and interesting one, as you mentions many examples in it. I'm also very grateful towards the honorable principal of our college, Dr. S.K. Kushare, sir, Dr. D.N. Pawar, sir, the coordinator of the IQAC. With the help of their guidance, we can able to conduct such an informative program. I also want to express a lot of thanks to my dear colleagues Sangeeta Ahir ma'am, Sayogita ma'am, and Ashwini ma'am for their incredible cooperation for the conducting this workshop. Now, I would like to request Dr. Ashwini ma'am to express her vote of thanks.
Yes. Thank you, madam. Now we are towards the concluding part of this workshop. Today, the Department of English and IQSC of KSKW College have organized one-day online workshop on research methodology. We have rather two eminent personalities, Dr. Sharad Chauhan from MGVS Arts and Commerce College, Yevla, and Dr. Sharayu Sonamne from Sandeep University. We are very delighted to have you here, and you have shared enough of knowledge to our student that they will definitely opt for the research. Dr. Sharad Chavan have in a very simplified manner have explained the definition of research and various steps involved in research processes. Sir has very nicely explained and summarized the vast topic. Thank you so much, Dr. Sharad Chavan, sir, for imparting the knowledge to our students. Dr. Sharayu Sonone, madam, your presentation was really very sweet sounding, at the same time scholarly. It was a scholarly discourse, and you have discussed about primary and secondary resources. But we already have learned our lesson, and next time we are surely going to ask you come here and have a word or talk to our students lively, so that they can get 100% knowledge from you that you yourself have a lot. Okay, so thank you so much. I would also like to thank our principal, Dr. S.K. Kuchare sir, and IQAC of the KSKW College, especially Dr. D.M. Pawar sir, for guiding and supporting the Department of English. I would like to extend my thanks to our HOD, Ms. Sangeeta Ahir madam, for her enthusiasm. Then I would also like to thank to the coordinator of this workshop, Dr. Pranali Sadhav, PG coordinator Sanyogita Kendari madam, all, and especially I would like to thank all the students who participated in the program and who actively participated in it. So, on behalf of the Department of English and IQSC, I would like to express my vote of thanks that we are happy to have you here with us through this virtual platform. Thank you so much for attending the workshop. On behalf of organizers, I would like to declare that the workshop is over. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you to all of you.
Yes, thank you.